The stories in this video are not stories at all, but articles. Articles about paranormal events that were published in real newspapers 100 years ago.
Hey Super Horror fam! I know I would normally have something to say to set the scene a little, but this article's payoff is so good, I didn't want to risk spoiling it. So I'm just gonna let it play, and then we'll have ourselves a laugh after.
Something strange is going on in Mill Creek, a normally quiet neighborhood 4 miles north of York, Illinois. While most investigations into paranormal events often hit dead ends with people being too embarrassed to speak out, there are many families in the town that are quite comfortable discussing the happenings. As far as we can tell, the chain of supernatural events started at the house of John Haddocks. According to the Haddocks family, furniture would routinely be tossed about, smaller items would be spun around as if taken up by a strong wind, and knives and forks were thrown from the cupboard drawers. During these episodes, no one was safe. A young boy was unfortunate enough to be inside when the commotion started and left with a fairly serious injury. Several adults left the residence with marks they received from the items being thrown around. The entity is very destructive. People aside, the entity has destroyed eggs, jars of fruit, and even threw some clothing in the fireplace. Now there are reports here and there of similarly strange phenomena, but this story has a twist in it, that the hauntings are taking place during the day, where many exclusively take place at night. Persons from all parts of the USA are planning trips to Mill Creek to see its ghost, with a few hoping to discover what has caused these strange events. An old woman of the neighborhood was originally credited with the phenomena and accused of being a witch. There was even talk of lynching the old woman, but she vehemently denied being a witch or having anything to do with the occurrences. After her denial, she was no longer bothered. Some in the town are terrified at the thought of the continued hauntings, while others are actually glad of it. According to the reports from nearby neighbors, John Haddock's wife died last year, and, on her deathbed, promised her husband that she would come back and haunt him if he employed a specific woman to keep house for him. He eventually did employ this young woman, and within days, the hauntings began. For whatever reason Miss Haddocks had to make the threat, it appears Mr. Haddock should have taken it more seriously.
When I read that last bit about his wife telling him not to hire that woman, I nearly fell out of my chair laughing. I love everything about it. The original conversation. "Don't you dare hire Hannah! She has the heart of a harlot! If you do, I will come back and haunt you!" And the husband was all, "Yeah, whatever, I do what I want." And now she's there throwing all his stuff around. World's greatest I told you so. So I did a little digging and found out why Miss Haddocks didn't want her husband hiring Hannah. It turns out there was a limbo contest at the church festival, and Hannah was caught cheating. That's when Miss Haddocks found out just how low Hannah could go.